Welcome along, this is David with another tutorial. Today's tutorial is on the Pads Manager. So first thing you want to do is to start up the Pads Manager. You can go into your start menu, all programs, down to Pads, and open Pads Professional Manager, which I've already done. We'll do a quick run through of the screen and then I'll talk a little bit about scheduling. First thing to do is, first thing that you see is down the left hand side here are your groups of screens. You won't have as many as I can see because I can see them all at the moment, but for example if you're PG News, you can click on that and you can expand it as well, so you can see there's 3 screens under PG News. Now at the moment there's actually 2 screens under UG News. This is actually, there's only 1 screen live at the moment. Pads 18 broke and I've put Pads 23 in. Now I'll briefly talk about some scheduling here. Now the good thing is that the schedule for the undergrad news, and it's actually similar with the PG News, has been created within the group rather than within the individual pads unit, and you can tell this because when you click on the pads, individual pads machines, you can see this is kind of grayed out almost, and if I click on UG News you can see this is selectable, so that's how you know it's been created actually under the group rather than the individual pad. The advantage of this, and this is a really good example, is when Pads 18 broke, I was able to just swap it out for Pads 23 and I could just drop into that group, and immediately Pads 23 was given the information that was under the UG News. Now if it hadn't been done like that and just been put onto Pads 18, I would have had to manually add in a new schedule into Pads 23. So that's the advantage of actually adding schedules to the groups rather than to the individual units. Obviously there's times when you would add it to individual units. It's certainly applicable with the welcome screens. As you can see, the welcome screen is got the fire test, which is a reoccurrence that you want on both screens, so that's why that's under the group. But then if you click the individual pads, you can actually see how that's grayed out because that's a group one, and then you can see that there's different schedules on for the different pads. For Pads 13, which is the front of George Square, and 17 is where you come in on the lower ground main entrance. So that's a bit about that. What I'm going to do is use one of these unassigned ones as an example. Now the best way to have your screens running is to have a recurrent base one running all the time permanently, and that means if you do any ad hoc or any other recurrent ones, if they drop off after a specified time, then they'll always drop back to the recurrent one. So I'm going to use Pads 26 here as the example. So just right click on that and click insert schedule. So click next. I always use a presentation wizard because I think it's really helpful and easy to set things up. So we want to create a recurrent one. Now this is going to be our base one. So I'll just call this base or just a standard screen. Browse. Now because this is an example, I'm using a file off my E drive. However, you should always keep things in your S drive. It's really important that, because Pads doesn't have access in the S drive and in display screens, because Pads doesn't have access to other folders, so you should make sure you keep them there. Also with regards to sort of folder structure and keeping things neat, what I'd like everybody to do is to for example, let's go into undergraduate here. We've got some standard ones and we'll be able to delete some of them. Then what we've done here is we've got ad hoc presentations, and then we've got images for slides. If everybody can create similar folders, then it just means that we can keep things a wee bit tidier. Now ad hoc presentations could also have recurrent ones in them, but just short-term recurrent ones. And I'll talk a wee bit about difference between the short-term recurrent and the ad hoc a bit later on. The other thing to do is the file name's really important. I actually made a boo-boo, I will admit, in the last in the demo in the Pads Designer. I'll correct that before it goes out. What's important is when you're calling files by names, whatever you call it, start it with month, day, year. You can see there, I sort of tried to do it there, but it's actually the wrong way around. It's got day, month, year. It's really important you do month, day, year, and then call it whatever you want. And what that means is that when you go in to sort things within a folder, you can sort it by the name, and what that'll allow you to do is delete all the old ones, and it will make it much easier to sort of manage your folders and get rid of old slides. So remember that month, day, year. Okay, anyway, going back to putting on this base presentation, so called it standard screen. This is going at the viewer level. I'm just using PAS 26. Like I spoke before, you can change this. Even though I opened it from PAS 26 to add a schedule, I can change it to whatever I want if I wanted to put it into a group. So, but I don't want to do that. But that's an option. Priority level will be low because it's your base one. No, better specify the file that I'm using. That's what I went to do. So PAS demo. Oh, it's not in there. Okay, so I need to put what file it is. So S drive, display screens, and I think I've got PAS demo here. And this is just one I sort of made up from the undergraduate one. So destination must be specified. Oh, it's on group, change it to viewer. Now, start date's always today's date, and the end date's always today's date. So I want to say no end date. I want to do every day, daily. Click next. So recurrence. Don't make them 24 hours because we actually want the screens to go to sleep. So let's say 07. Oh. If we start them about 7:30 in the morning and finish them about 10:30 in the evening, that means that at least they're off for the overnight period. And that's it done. Click finish. You can see this will start populating. One thing I meant to mention before was that this box here, schedule presentations, this just shows you all the presentations it's scheduling. If you need to delete a recurrent screen, you can't do it by deleting it from here. This is just showing you what's coming up. Looks like here's your preview down here. What you have to do is go to view and click reoccurrence, and here you go. This shows you your recurrent schedules. You can then right click on that and then delete it if you want to. And when you delete that, it'll take a minute or two and it'll just pull all them out of there. What you find is if you delete these, you can do that no problem, but what happens is because you've still got this recurrence in, it just repopulates it again. So you'll never be rid of it. So you have to really delete it from here. So say you had somebody coming, this happens a lot on the welcome screens, and you wanted to show something for a few hours within a day. This is when you would use an ad hoc schedule. So what you might want to do is have just a static screen, so one picture up, for maybe 3 hours or maybe 5 hours or whatever, or maybe possibly you've created something else in Pads Designer that you want to have up, for a block period of time. So what we'll do is we'll right click, insert schedule, ad hoc schedule. Yes, I'm just going to use the same file name for this demo. Again, so viewer, yep. Priority level, you should never make it high. If you can, obviously the fire alarms are at high, so just make it one up from whatever the lowest recurrent one is. click next. Now you get a lot less options in the ad hoc, so this is why I suggest that you only use ad hoc for within a day, because you see here, here's your days and the start and end time, so this would run for an hour. I could change these days, but then this is going to run non-stop, so it's going to run right over the night until the next day. And if you make this like 3 weeks, it'll basically run constantly and it'll never turn off. So that's why if you want to do something that's lasting more than a day, what to do is make it a recurrent one, but change the, give it an end date. So anyway, we'll just run this one for an hour, put that back to 11th, and click finish, and there you go. You can see this has come up. Doesn't really help if you use the same one, but obviously this one would be coming up on the screen just now for an hour. Once that hour had passed, this would drop off, and then you'd be back to your recurrent ones. Obviously, like I said, if you got an advert that you want to run up for maybe a few months, the best thing to do is to go into your designer, take your base design, then add your pages with the adverts, put that in as a recurrent at a higher level than this one. So you could go into medium, and any ad hoc ones would then go into general or a level above that if you wanted to. And you just run that for the duration of however long the advert is, and it's still including your base files, obviously, because that's within your design. And then at the end of the time, that'll drop off, and then it'll go back to your recurrent one that has no end date on it. So that's how you should do that. So any more than a day, use recurrent, but put an end date on it, and it just lets you shut the screens down at night, saving a wee bit of energy there. Okay, so occasionally, like I spoke before about the undergraduate one where we'd had to swap the pads out, we will try and keep the pads numbers updated correctly on the wiki, so it'll come more into play with the, like I spoke before about the welcome screens. Different things go up on there. Occasionally a pads might break down, we might have to change it out, so you might find this has changed number to pads 19 or something like that. Check the wiki. If it's not been updated on the wiki, just drop us an email at ishelp at the usual business school address, and we'll let you know what pads is addressed to what screen. Okay, well, I think that's probably about it. Again, if you have any questions, please do get in touch. And if not, thanks for watching. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll just very quickly add a recurrent one. Let's just do a short term recurrent. So it's going to be recurrent, and I'll take one of the undergraduate ones, display screens, undergraduate, and let's just do revised 4. Okay, so we want this to come in. Well, obviously we've just because of this demo, we've got this one coming in a medium. So say, oh, we don't want that one anymore. Let's just put this in general. Just override that. Usually you'd probably put that in as medium, and then important ad hoc ones would go on top of that. But let's just do this just now. Now it's at the specific viewer PADS 26 that you're looking at. Again, quite a lot of the time you'll be doing it at the group level, so you can just click group and pick your group. You'll probably just have 1 or 2 options, but we'll just do this at the viewer level so I don't mess anything up. So today's date, and say we want this to end on Friday, so we're trying to advertise something. So start there, end there, They've got, you can see you've got a lot more options, so you could do add end after 10 occurrences, so it could be shown at 10 days. So recurrence type, I think it's easier to make it every day than, you know, if it's 10 occurrences, it's 10 days. If you do it every 2 days, you know, you have to work things out. So recurrence period within that day. So again, you can start at 7:30 in the morning, having it ending at 10:30 at night. However, you might decide that, oh wait, I just want to show these adverts during core hours while there's more students around, which is totally fine. And it just means that your base one will run from 7:30 till when you start this. Let's make this 9 o'clock, or 9:30 even. Yeah, you go 9:30, and that can finish at 17:30. So whatever you're displaying in this pads template will just show between 9:30 and 7:30. So we want to uninterrupted. You could choose that you might actually just want to show it every hour and show it for 10 minutes. So whatever's in that pads presentation will show for 10 minutes every hour. You could do that if you wanted to. It's totally up to yourself. It's very flexible. But we'll just put uninterrupted just now, and I'll click on finish. So there you go. As you can see, that's populated in and it's appeared in here. So this is going to happen every day from the 11th till the 15th of February from 9:30 till 5:30. So out with that time, it's going to drop back to this because it's running from 7:30 till 10:30. I'll just delete this so you can see. Yes, let's delete that. Deleting it there. It'll just take a minute or two. And as you can see, it's actually taken out schedule presentations. So actually you delete them. If you need to delete an ad hoc one, you do just delete it straight from the schedule presentations here. It's not a reoccurrence, it won't appear in your reoccurrence window. And remember, to get that, you just do view and reoccurrence. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.